do you have a plan for the intro? What if we do like a cheers?
Yeah. Chips.
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 Zing!
We're not doing
Why can't I do zing? Zing!
Stop. We haven't chibbed since 2020. The last chibs we did was the episode 10, Beast Quest episode 10. It wasn't right. We tried the chibs and it sort of didn't work.
Well, I wanted to chips, but you said we have to wait for a special occasion, and we never did one.
This is exactly what I had planned. I knew when I had my thinking cap on, when I looked like Richard Ayoade with my glasses and my two berets,
Yeah.
I knew we would be sat here in like 3-4 years time about to chibs. So
here it is.
Chibs.
Chips.
So this is a very special episode of... What's the series even called? You gotta smile at me. Today we're going to be watching a film called Race Against Time.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is the first joint film so far. The first film both of us participated in.
Was this 2017?
It was.
Really?
Yeah.
This is like the first in this series where we're watching a film with both of us in it. So, I mean, hopefully it should be more interesting because we can like play each other off in the film.
we can what each other off?
We can play... Did I say play
So we can play each other off?
Play off each other in the films.
Of course you can.
So... Oh, another thing to mention about this film is it's unfinished. It's still like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's still really long. But...
I think it's 2 hours, and if we'd have finished it, it honestly could have been 3 hours. I guess we've got one more thing to discuss, and that is...
the lights! The pretty... Look at the pretty lights!
So today's episode is a drinking episode. So, we've got our rum and coke that we're going to be sipping on throughout the episode. And there's also going to be a condition.
This is stupid.
And every single time that we have every time that we experience the condition in the film, we're going to take a shot.
So we got little shot glasses. We're going to come up with conditions where whenever something happens in the film, we take a shot.
Yeah, so are we going to
could
come
end
up with
very
the condition
badly
before the film, or do we kind of just watch it and then it'll come to us?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we should maybe come up before we watch.
Yeah, I feel like we should, but also like I'm trying to think of any like recurring themes in the film, but nothing's coming to mind.
I remember there's a segment in the film where like you got a bunch of eagles going like caw, caw.
What, every time they say car?
Yeah,
so it would be like no drinking for like 90% of the film, but one scene just like. What about every time they say magic? Every time Zach says magic.
Anytime.
I don't know. I want something that's like spaced out throughout the film. Like it'll happen every now and then.
Did they say every time they say like imagination?
Yo, that could work. Every time it says imagine or imagination.
I feel like we die. I also want to mention that I've only been drunk once in the 20 years I've existed, so this could end very badly for me. Cameron's like a veteran. His life's hit rock bottom. He just drinks.
I'm an alcoholic. My wife left me.
Do you think we'll get very drunk?
I hope not. Imagine if we did. It would be magical. Which one are we doing? Imagination. Or imagine. Any variation of the word imagine. Imagination, imagined.
Okay, right, it's a deal.
Imagino.
We take a shot of Sour's apple every time a character says a variation of the word imagine. So imagine.
Done.
We will be changed by the end of this film.
No, wait, what? Why are you trying to make this?
I mean, this is the last little bit of the rum and coke, and I don't feel drunk.
Okay, now I feel drunk. We were so bored during Nuclear 2 that we had to stimulate ourselves in other ways, which does not sound right. But in a non-sexual way, we had to provide our own entertainment during that film, which led us down some dark paths. I think you could agree.
Really,
I think it took us to a different kind of mental place. Whereas this one, I think this film's going to be okay. Like, not a masterpiece.
I remember working. I remember making.
I reckon this would be quite good.
I remember working on Race Against Time with you. And I remember finding it like a really interesting concept.
I remember at the time it was our favourite film that we'd made.
Well, it's interesting enough for you to like write a novel on. You're making like you're still in the process.
I really like the concept of the three people from different time periods.
Cameron's been making like a novelization of this film.
Yeah, I want to turn this into a real book one day.
Should we start off with one shot?
Yeah.
I want to know what this tastes like.
Oh, and if they say magic, we do a line of cocaine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If a character falls down a pit for 10 years, we shoot heroin. But I doubt that'll happen. Like that wouldn't happen.
I mean, just imagine.
Oh! Don't die on me, Joel.
Yeah. You took it down like a champ.
Not the first time you said that.
It was quite nice. I don't know. What? No.
The way you're like, it's quite nice.
I'm allowed to have a mixed reaction to Cameron's very, very young YouTube viewers who like to watch funny planet animations, and I know they still stick around because one of them commented on the last video asking where the planet animations have gone.
They're coming. They're coming.
Don't try this. Please.
Have a toxic waste.
Yeah.
Joel, one shot and Joel's getting freaky.
I'm not. 3, 2, 1, go.
So, the film starts with us meeting our three protagonists, who are each rescued from a situation that would otherwise be certain death. First, we get to Ryef the Strong, a soldier fighting in 1066 in the Battle of Fulford, one of the battles leading up to the Battle of Hastings. His side are losing the battle, and he witnesses one of his friends, followed by his loyal horse Shadow, be killed. He flees to the beach, but he knows it's only a matter of time before they catch him and kill him, when all of a sudden, a mysterious blue portal materialises in front of him. A mysterious man emerges from the portal and introduces himself as the Time Watcher. He has a distorted appearance, as if he's frozen between different time periods in his own life. He has brown hair, yet a long grey beard. He has a young, athletic body, yet an old, wizened hand holding a burning staff. The Time Watcher tells Ryef to come with him, that he'll save him. At first, Ryef doesn't trust him, accusing him of witchcraft. But soon, he realises that he has no choice. So, he takes the portal. Next we meet Zach, who's driving his motorbike through London on his way to work. He gets a call from his boss, telling him that he's late. Zach begins to speed and drive recklessly, causing him to be hit by a truck. As he's lay on the ground dying, a portal once again opens up, and the Time Watcher tells him that he can save him. Just like to Ryef, Zach doesn't trust him, believing himself to be hallucinating. But soon, he realises that he has no other choice, and that he'll die if he doesn't take the portal. Finally, we meet Quandro, a scientist working in a test lab in the Arctic. He and his colleagues test out his latest invention, something called the particle compressor. However, the experiment goes wrong, and the compressor blows up. And just like the others, the Time Watcher emerges from a portal and rescues him from death.
They better start fucking off now.
I imagine they'll start backing off now.
Oh shit.
You broke it!
Cool effects.
That is cool. I like the portal effect.
Don't forget to listen up for that word.
I am listening, trust me. I'm like a sleeper agent, and if I hear that word, like...
I was proud of this scene when they made it. Cuts to black. It's like a
That's good.
No, this!
Oh, this is cool. This goes hard.
It does.
Oh, that
the way
goes
it's like
hard.
slow motion in silence. It cuts to black.
With the black in between the shots.
He's gonna fall into the bin. Into the...
He like pops out and like spits out like a rotten apple core.
No. Think about how fast he must have said that, because that was like,
no.
Slow down. No.
My pain, it's gone.
My pain, it's worse. That's what happens here.
Welcome to the pain portal.
Welcome to the pain dimension. Whoa, did you see that fade? That dissolve. It's him again from Nuclear 2.
The professor!
Bro with the hairline. Me.
You.
You like my new hairline, by the way.
I like your new hair transplant, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clearly fake, you know, but it's...
I think it
does
passes,
the job,
like...
yeah.
Brilliant news!
I hate this character already.
Can we change it to take a shot every time Quandro says brilliant news? Because I need one.
Quandro's 250 years old. No wonder his hairline is so bad.
Yeah, if I was 250, by now my hairline would start to decline.
I'd be grateful to have that hairline.
That's an impressive hairline for 250.
The ignition cog went wrong. What? But that's impossible. We put loads of money into this.
I laugh while I say that line. I knew it was comedic gold. Quandra's like the atheist character.
Yeah,
Like,
he's the non-believer.
there's no god, only science and magic.
No?
Oh, I love defying the laws of physics. Some might say it's a hobby.
Hard line.
When they all re-emerge from their portals, the Time Watcher is waiting for them. He introduces them all to each other, and they each remark on the differences between them. The Time Watcher explains to them that he's taken them to an alternate realm called the Realm of Space-Time. Here, both gravity and time work extremely differently to the world that they all came from. Also, thousands of different creatures and species inhabit the realm, and it's almost infinite in size. Not only that, but here people can have incredible powers. Just by using their imagination and creativity, they can create almost anything they can think of, move things with their mind, and even float. However, the Time Watcher didn't just save them from their deaths and bring them here for their own pleasure. He explains that he needs them to fight a war. He explains that in this realm, there are only two humans left alive, himself and the Eternalizer. The Eternalizer is an evil dictator who's created an army and is travelling the realm killing and enslaving people. He also explains that the Eternalizer got his power from an essence, an element that was discovered in Zack's dead body after he died in the car accident. Therefore, the Time Watcher travelled back in time to bring these three here in the hopes that they could defeat the Eternalizer. But first, he encourages them to test out their powers by imagining various things, and Tarayev is able to bring back his trusty horse, Shadow.
The music.
Do you remember I had that app on my iPad?
Were you playing it live?
It was like some brain rot like Gen Z app. You touch your finger on the screen and a bunch of lights swirl around your finger. And
Oh yeah!
it plays music.
I'm pretty sure it gets in the shot at one point.
Asian?
This is Tarayev the Strong. Soldier.
It's like a Twitter bio. Soldier, dad, journalist.
This is Zack Smith, male, he, him.
BLM. Quandro, normal, MAGA.
Quandro would be like a conservative, traditional man. Got a traditional haircut.
There's nothing traditional about that trim.
Yeah, it's got like a little like shine
It's
on it.
so shiny.
That's the Gen Z app. I love the marshmallow trees.
Oh, that's so good.
It's such a good use of like a prop they found. This like cushion on the stick.
You know, as everyone just has lying around their house, cushion on a stick, you know?
If we used magic, we would have took a shot.
Zack is the most like, it's right behind me, isn't it? Kind of protagonist.
Oh, he is. Why don't you all sit on me?
He said picture! I thought we got away with that. He said picture the first time, and then he said, you're not imagining hard
Can you
enough.
imagine if we went through the whole film and he's like, what's the word? Allegories?
It's like the Mandela effect. He never actually says
Yeah.
the word imagine.
Picture whatever you want to picture.
Come up with whatever you like.
Envision what you want.
Foresee it, and it shall be in front.
There we go.
Oh, wait, they're going to come up with their modes of transport. There's 100% going to be another one. I like the idea that he knows his limits. And so he's brought these people in knowing that they might be stronger than him.
If we picked magic, we would be in so much trouble.
If what, sorry?
If we picked magic, we'd be in so much trouble.
We'd be on 2 so
He
far.
said, no, he
magic.
just said it again.
Did he do it again?
Yeah.
So we'd be on 3.
Weird assholes.
There we go.
Chibs.
Chips.
Chibs. It's constipated.
There's always one. It always happens.
The Time Watcher tells them that they must journey across the realm in order to reach the Eternalizer's army, and that along the way they could experience different places in the realm and grow their powers. They start by crossing the plains, where they free an imprisoned creature from a trap. He explains that his name is Garbon, and that he belongs to a species called the Terran Quill, and that he'd been imprisoned by one of the Eternalizer's minions. The Time Watcher tells him about his mission to defeat the Eternalizer, and Garbon immediately agrees to help. Now, Garbon is a massive fan favourite character, and by that I mean me and Joel just love him. He's a certified legend. Soon after, they stumble across one of the Eternalizer's minions, and Garbon tells them that this is the one that imprisoned him. They begin to fight, but it's difficult because the minion has venomous spit, and he's very quick. Quandro is able to imagine a gun from the future that can electrocute him, and Tarayev helps fight as well on his horse, although he is spanked to the tune of Yellow Submarine. However, Zack completely freezes in battle, and Garbon pays the ultimate cost, being pushed down something called the Endless Drop, a valley that means he will fall for 10 years before dying. As they mourn the loss of their newfound friend, the Time Watcher questions whether this mission would even be possible in the first place, and whether he's made a mistake. But ultimately, he decides they must push on. Otherwise, what just happened to our friend Garbon will happen to thousands of other creatures across the realm.
Yeah, shut up, go swallow a sambulon. What's one of those? This.
That was funny.
I think that's the first time that we've laughed at one of these films and then not immediately felt intense shame. I knew it would come. Is this number 4?
I've lost go already. Do you think it's weird that we've been joking about doing a drinking game for so long?
Yeah.
And now we actually are. Curveball.
Yeah.
The reaction to Viscos Books episode where
Yeah, we talked about this.
we take shots, but we did the curveballs. We had the blue ones and the red ones.
Yeah.
We did chewing gum like gobstoppers.
And I didn't realise until the end that it was chewing gum. Why would you choose chewing gum as something you take several times throughout the video? Because once you put a chewing gum in, you're not going to then swallow it to have another one later on. It doesn't make sense.
Touche.
The whole video you can see me so it's you can see me clearly uncomfortable because I haven't been able to swallow it. And for some reason, I think it's a sweet. I'm like, why can't I swallow it?
I can't believe you
And then it's only until the end that I speak up and say, this is
Yeah.
just turning into chewing gum.
It is chewing
It
gum.
is chewing gum.
I can't believe you only thought to us after we wrapped up and we
Yeah.
were Garbon's a real one. Helping these people, he didn't have any reason to help them.
This was a really funny scene at the time. Spanking him with a staff to Yellow Submarine.
Yeah. No, this is a funny film. For what it is, for the time it came from, for how young we were, this is funny.
Garbon! No.
Garbon, get away! Get away!
He's teleporting behind him!
Garbon, get away!
No! No!
That's the Endless Drop. He's due to 10 years of falling.
No!
You did your best.
You did your best. So,
I say we interrogate him.
for those who didn't get it from our reaction, Garbon, this lovely character, this he saved. He didn't have to, but he decided to help out in the battle. He got pushed into the endless pit where he's doomed to fall for 10 years. It's one of the worst punishments we've ever come up with.
It's such an existential torture because it's 10 years of just falling.
And you're kept alive, you're fully conscious.
And then
in
you
the pitch
die at
black.
the end.
Basically 10 years of sensory deprivation with just your own thoughts. Damn, you always lost moments so early on.
I mean, this is the most heartbreaking moment of the film, of any film I've ever seen.
Next, they travel to the City of the Birds, where a community of bird people live. Their leader, Rondorf, greets the Time Watcher as an old friend and tells them that a few weeks ago they were attacked by one of the Eternalizer's minions. He destroyed some of the marshmallow forest that they live in and killed several of their townspeople. That night, each of them are invited to stay on top of the marshmallow trees with one of the bird people. However, Zack's a bit freaked out by the situation and decides to go for a walk. As he strays a little outside of the village, he stumbles across one of them, who introduces himself as Hornex and invites Zack to stay at his cabin in the woods. Zack reluctantly agrees. By this stage, Zack's already having cold feet because this guy's very creepy and invasive, when the Time Watcher calls him and tells him to look out for a guy called Hornex, because that's the disguise that the minion has been using. Zack tries to politely leave the cabin, but the Eternalizer's minion forces him to stay. Suddenly, he throws a device that explodes and knocks Zack unconscious. When he wakes up, he's tied up, and the Eternalizer's minion reveals his true form, Magma Snake. He tells him that he's going to go back and finish the village off, and leaves Zack at the mercy of his snakes.
I remember this location is one of my favourite of the film.
This is one of the best by far.
I told you how I love those cushions on sticks. I'd rather see a lot more of them. Was that like 20 meters
You
away?
were cooking. Yeah, I remember you ran. You ran.
I was cooking.
Because we filmed this in the bathroom, and then you ran to the other end of the room and like caw. He's right behind me, isn't he? My wife left me for a vulture. I love this shot. This is like from the POV of the villain. What is that filter? What was that effect?
I think I had like a blue piece of plastic and I put it in front of the camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea that instead of like a day-night cycle, it just suddenly goes dark.
Mm.
That's like a, I don't know, it's a small thing, but it adds to it.
I'm sorry.
This, no.
It's my bulging black eyes.
It's my bulge.
8 o'clock ritual where we do stuff.
Bro, wake up! You're gonna miss the 8 o'clock ritual.
I'm just saying, you have to be on the lookout for the the minion.
Hello. Yeah, Hornex is just in the corner watching this, aren't he?
He's like, Hornex in the corner.
Big bulge.
Then it is him.
Strong jawline. He looks like a muse.
Big balls. Oh yeah, that's Hornex.
Microplastics in his balls. No, that's everyone.
That's everyone.
It's fine. It's just I've been having a few like hallucinations. Like
He could have said nightmares. He said hallucinations.
He said sleep paralysis.
Full on.
Hallucinations.
I'm going through a bit of psychosis.
This is a creepy character, I'll be honest.
He's like pushy in like a creepy way. He's like weirdly invasive.
The snakes draw in on Zack, and one of them bites him, and he knows that he needs to think fast. Finally, he's able to use his powers to remove the handcuffs, and then he imagines a gun which he uses to kill one of the snakes. The other one's about to strike, but at last Zack is able to use his ability of telekinesis to drop a heavy bed on it, crushing it. Zack thinks he's free when a giant snake reveals itself, and it nearly bites his head clean off. He's able to climb the cabin to escape, but it follows him up there. But using his greatest feat of telekinesis yet, Zack is able to push the whole cabin down onto the snake to squash it. Back at the village, once again disguised as one of the bird people, Magma Snake tells everyone that Zack's going to die, that he fell down the eternal drop. But Zack arrives not long after, telling everyone that he's alive and revealing the secret identity of Magma Snake. Magma Snake quickly steals the Time Watcher's staff and begins to fly and shoot fire down on the village. He burns down several of the marshmallow trees, and Rondor sacrifices himself to save a baby that was going to be crushed under one of them. Tarayev notices that the Time Watcher is growing weaker by the minute, and he explains that he needs the staff to survive. Zack unlocks his ability to fly and gives chase to Magma Snake, accompanied by a couple of the bird people. He tackles Magma Snake and takes the staff back, and they throw it back to the Time Watcher, who retrieves it and grows back to his full strength. The Time Watcher joins the fracas and unleashes a tiger which kills Magma Snake. The villagers thank Zack and the others for saving them, and begin to feast on Magma Snake's corpse.
Oh, I just bit him.
Now he's going to turn into a snake.
Snakes sound like zombies. If you get bitten by a snake, you don't
No,
turn
you
into
do,
a
you
snake.
do. My grandfather turned into a snake when he was bit by a snake.
What, your pet snake? Drayson was your granddad?
Yeah. Don't say it, oh my god. Okay.
Imagine.
What was that John Lennon song that might help me get through this? See, we really shouldn't have played magic, should we? We'd be dead if we picked magic.
Upon...
I hate Pandro.
Right, he's not going to say it. We need a new condition.
They'll come back to it.
I'm bored.
Well, usually we wouldn't have any alcohol.
Yeah, and how bad has that been? The next time I can think they'd say it is when they have to cross a lake and they all have to imagine like a way of crossing the lake, like the Time Watcher has like a dolphin.
That's coming up, isn't it?
That's after this, I think. After this this scene.
Hoverboard, return. Good boy.
He's talking to Zach.
Good point.
Oh, there you are, Zach. Hi.
Enjoy yourself.
I want to watch you eat. Quantro's got a gun.
Look how Quandro's got a gun.
I've had enough of you early beings! Only the advanced life forms can survive. Come on, come on.
Next, the group cross the Lake of Blood, where they each have to imagine a way of crossing the river. When they reach the other side, they encounter the Taranquil, Garbon's people, and they sadly inform them of Garbon's passing. Next, they venture into somewhere called the Land of Giants, where, to be honest, not a lot happens, except the giants were going to eat one of the Taranquil, and the Time Watcher tells them off. But after that, they meet the robots. The robots ask why they're passing through, and the Time Watcher reluctantly explains their plan to defeat the Eternalizer, but the robots insist that it's futile, and that they'll have no chance, especially once the Forcebender enters the picture. Zack and the others ask who the Forcebender is, but the Time Watcher dismisses it as unimportant. But the robots demand that the Time Watcher explains to everyone who the Forcebender is, and Zack insists on it as well, as he can tell that the Time Watcher's hiding something. The Time Watcher does everything he can to move on, but eventually he relents and explains. He admits that when he said earlier that he and the Eternalizer were the only two people left, that he lied, that there was a third called the Forcebender. When the Forcebender saw how powerful the Eternalizer was becoming, he cryogenically froze himself for 1,000 years, hoping to outlast the Eternalizer's reign and wake up when everything was over. But it didn't work, because the Eternalizer is still growing more powerful by the day. The other thing about being cryogenically frozen in this realm is that when the Forcebender wakes up, he'll have no memories left, and if the Eternalizer reaches him first, he can convince the Forcebender that he's one of his servants. The robots say that if the Eternalizer and the Forcebender team up, then they'll be unstoppable, and it'll be a suicide mission to try and stop them. Everyone was angry at the Time Watcher that he led them here with false hope, when most likely they were going to die trying to stop the Eternalizer, but he claimed that he believed that they could stop him. The Time Watcher then tells them that they were just mortals that had no clue about immortal things, and that they had no power, and that even if they died, they were going to die anyway, so why does it matter? Tarayath and Quandro couldn't believe the way they were being treated, like useless pawns to be killed, and Zack calls the Time Watcher a stupid old man. They decide to abandon him, and at this, the Time Watcher's flame in his staff goes out, and he collapses. The robots give him to this massive car with gigantic teeth called Robo-Leopard to take him somewhere where they can keep him alive. The group travel on their own through a place called Little France, which has a miniature Eiffel Tower, and then into somewhere called Skulton. But they had no way to navigate the realm without the Time Watcher's wisdom and experience, and all of them became homesick and lost. They decide to try and go home. Tarayath and Quandro aren't strong enough, but Zack's powers have reached a level where he's able to create portals for them to go back home. So they all say goodbye and go their separate ways.
I'm not just a stereotypical scientist.
You are. You really are.
Well, why don't you just imagine how to swim? That'll probably work.
Ayo, ayo!
You wanted this?
That's to the brim.
Brim's a good word.
Brimstone.
Brimstone. That's a cool shot.
That's really
Heck, you
good.
can see them underwater.
Where the heck you get it from? I imagined it.
Oh.
Aye!
Oh!
Away! To single mothers. There was a spillage in this village. Well, we've had two imagines in the space of a minute, so there could be one more, honestly.
Squeaky. Oh my!
What?
Pro gave him. I don't know if I can even use this anymore. They're all dead.
What the hell?
That's not right.
You were like a second ahead of me.
We have some quantum link or something.
No, the Tranquil. Do they have to tell him that Garbon's dead?
Not dead, but suffering for a decade. Swambalon.
Garbon will never eat another Swambalon. They're tasty.
He didn't deserve what he had coming to him.
Do you think if they say Hail Megatron is like a parallel to the Nazis?
Tequila. I got you that for a really good
Nicest teeth in Britain.
There's no more car in Britain.
Right, there's no way you wouldn't know what the Eiffel Tower is.
Well, he remembers it. That makes sense.
But even if the Eiffel Tower was like taken down tomorrow, people in 1,000 years would know what it is.
Well, he does know what it is. He just needs a bit of a jolt in his memory.
A bit of a jolt in his memory.
Jolt.
Joel. I'm so humble, they call me Humbleston. Honestly, do you think there's going to be no more Imagines? I think so.
Was that just an extended... What was that?
I think we just blacked out.
Tarayev wakes up on the battlefield, disorientated and confused, and it takes him a bit of time to get used to not being able to move things with his mind, or conjure up anything he wants on the spot just by using his imagination. Tarayev learns that his army have lost the battle, and he's captured by enemy soldiers. Fortunately though, he's able to escape. Quandro wakes up in a hospital, suspended in liquid nitrogen. He exits the chamber and takes a look on the computer, and learns that he was hospitalised by portals that have been tearing up their world and causing mass destruction. Meanwhile, Tarayev ventures back into his hometown, where he discovers that it's been completely destroyed, reduced to rubble by mysterious portals that somehow opened up. Quandro goes home to his wife, but hides behind the sofa when he hears a strange male voice. He learns that since he was believed to be dead, killed by one of the portals that ravaged the city, his wife had moved on and found a new man called Jeff. And with the worst possible timing, Jeff proposes to his wife, and she says yes. Quandro flees out onto the street, only to find that just like Tarayev's hometown, it's been destroyed, turned to rubble. Both Tarayev and Quandro realise that by returning to their time periods, they've ripped holes in the timeline, causing these portals to open up and cause untold destruction. They both beg the Time Watcher to open a portal and take them back to their timeline. And just like that, a blue portal opens up, and they both take it. Zack also wakes up in a hospital, supposedly a victim of one of the portals. He as well learns about the fate of them, that they open mysteriously once every 1,000 years. He as well wishes to go back to the realm of space-time, but for him, a red portal opens up, and he takes it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the world was ending because of all the portals.
That's life.
That's what people
That's
say.
what all the Quandros say. Riding high in Giant Town, shot down in May.
What is this presentation?
I think I'm gonna have to take a point off for editing for that fade.
I think you gotta take a bit off a Quandro's fade.
Yeah, is there just portals like at the times where they came back? Like,
I don't know, or is it all
mysterious
the time?
portals that like killed people, but only when they came back.
I don't know. Maybe just when they came back.
Yeah, yes, it's only in the times where they came back. It's like a 3-time historical event that's completely unexplained.
Because he can't make portals right.
Not waking up now, is he? He was taking a nap before, but now he's dead. You know, I think we'd have done more shots if the word was witches. Portals as well, we would have done more.
That's not very 1066 rubble, is it? Unless the portals are spitting out rubble from other times.
That would be cool. Imagine being 1066 and you just find like
A dildo.
I was actually gonna say that. Like an electric vibrator. Like, this must be the toothbrush of the future.
No! No! No!
Hi.
This is quite a nice set. Nice
Hmm.
futuristic.
There's something funny about him hiding behind the sofa.
She went for a younger man.
He's 192.
Oh!
Oh my god, that's crazy.
No.
Oh,
This is like a sitcom.
they're full on making out.
They
That's
start,
really
they
funny.
start like fucking.
He bends her over.
Oh, wasn't it not him?
Yeah, no, it's the Eternal, is it? Wait, no, it's the Time Watcher for Quandra and Tarayev, but it's the Eternalizer for Zack.
Oh, because it was a red portal. Yeah. What's that? Don't let Cameron drink. Don't let. Okay, don't drink it. Don't drink it. I'm being told by the producers we are not to drink more.
Brimstone!
Wow.
You really just went, You spilled it everywhere and then went,
Well, that's why I've been crushing it. Been like cracking it and crushing it.
What?
What?
Is this?
What?
I think we, hold on. Huh?
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 Huh? We've like gone back.
What?
What? This is new though.
Can we skip this?
No,
No, it's not new though. 'Cause
What?
they're different parts.
What?
I knew we were at the end. We're done. The end.
A toast to Tom Scar. It's gonna be hard for you to review this one because it's not finished.
Yeah, so, I mean, the hardest part to review would be the plot, since it wasn't finished.
Are you just gonna go off?
But
Did we even have a plan as to how
I'll
it's
mostly
gonna
go off what we did do, and then I have an idea in my mind what
Yeah,
we were
please.
going to do.
Because
I sort of
when
know
you're doing
what the plan was.
when you're doing the review, cover the part that we didn't watch today.
Okay.
Like, go back, find your old Samsung iPad and watch the missing part.
I will.
And maybe film. It'll be bad quality, but just film the iPad.
I'll film it just to be able to see it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember that Zack was in a cage.
Yeah.
In the Eternalizer's lair.
I was gonna voice the Eternal.
And then he escapes. I remember that. But I think that's all we did. So I'll bear that in mind. But I think everything else I'll be able to review that fairly. Not that the review's super serious and, it doesn't matter too much. I don't know, I feel a big sense of anticlimax because I was saying I can't believe there's 5 parts left because I feel like we're at the end of the part.
It's 11 o'clock.
But then everything was duplicated.
So, as we explained in the reaction, the final part was recorded on my tablet, but we weren't able to export it off it, so I'll just give a summary of that part now. When Zack re-emerges from the portal, he finds himself trapped in a cage in the Eternalizer's lair. He manages to break out and fight off some of the Eternalizer's minions, but he's pinned down and knocked unconscious before being taken to see the Eternalizer. Meanwhile, the Time Watcher reawakens. He talks to one of his lizard friends, who's called Trabahanos, and he tells him that he comes from the same world as the humans, only 1,000,000 years in their future. He tells him that he had to flee and come to the realm of space-time because the Eternalizer's taking over there too. They realise that if they don't stop him, he'll take over every single timeline, realm, and parallel universe. Quandra and Tarayev come back through the portal, and they reunite with the Time Watcher and apologise for abandoning him. The Time Watcher's staff reignites, but they realise that the Eternalizer must have got to Zack first. The Time Watcher sends Trabahanos to search the whole realm and find Zack. Then we get a meeting between Zack and the Eternalizer, and what can I say, the Eternalizer's an evil fella. He throws Zack's cage around and demands him to give up and join him, but Zack refuses. The Time Watcher sends his staff underground to try and find the Forcebender, and it actually works. The Forcebender emerges. The Time Watcher confronts the Forcebender over abandoning the realm and leaving the Eternalizer to take over. The Forcebender raises one of his balls of destruction, and it seems as if the pair are going to fight, but at the last second, he throws it at one of the Eternalizer's minions. The Forcebender is on their side. We then learn that the Forcebender is Zack's father. Finally, the Forcebender supplies them with a map of the Eternalizer's lair, and the group plan to go and rescue Zack and have their final confrontation with the Eternalizer.
So, obviously you participated in this film. What are your thoughts?
Well, obviously I helped work on it with you,
Yep.
so I've got memories of it. So it's different from watching like Nuclear or Nuclear 2 or Scout Raps, because I wasn't a part of the creative process. I don't know. I kind of like the story. I feel like with enough tweaks it could be a pretty decent story, which is kind of like what you're doing by writing it into a book.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak about the book? Cameron decided to write this film into a book. He's not finished it, but he wants to. And he will. And he'll get it published, and you'll buy it.
I would say I changed a lot about the plot in the book. The biggest thing I changed was that they don't go to some magical realm. They go to the far future. And there's no kind of magic in the sense of if you imagine something, it'll happen. I implement some of the best parts from the film in the form of like technology, but I don't have this idea. But a big part of the film is this idea that whatever you imagine, it'll appear in front of you. That's not in the book.
We ate and left no crumbs. You think Geo's the best?
I think Geo's the best film we
Really?
watched together. I would say it's similar to
Esnell.
It's on par with Esnell, but we didn't watch that together. So I'd say Esnell and Geo are the two best films I'd watched until this point. Would you say this is better than both of them?
I'd say it would be if it was finished.
That's fair, yeah.
That's my closing statement.
I would say this film was better.
10 years of falling, 10 years of falling,
10 years of falling, 10 years of falling.
And now, finally, for my review of the film, and it's no great secret that this was a much more enjoyable watch than a lot of the other films that we've put ourselves through. So, starting off with the plot, I'm going right in, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Now, like we said in the reaction, I want to turn this film into a book, and there are quite a few changes I would make. So, if I was doing another draft of a lot of the films we've seen, I would actually make more changes to this story than for a lot of the others. So, why am I giving it such a high score for plot? It's because this film is oozing and gooping with creativity. There's so much imagination and thought behind every part of the realm, the locations, the characters, the different species they meet, that it just infuses the plot with so much wonder and intrigue. And the story itself has so many twists and turns, and I do love that original concept of 3 people from 3 different time periods being brought together into this strange and alternate dimension where they have to learn and understand their powers before they face off against an ultimate evil. I like the storyline with the Forcebender. I like the twists both that the Time Watcher withheld this crucial piece of information, causing the group to lose their trust in him, and I like the twist that he's Zack's father. And yes, we didn't finish the film, so we can only speculate about what could have been, and that's one of the reasons why it can't be a 10 out of 10. But it does have it all. I mean, Joel probably didn't need to scream like that, but when Garbon died, it was so sad. It was so fucking sad. The voice acting and the characters, they were pretty good. They were pretty good. The Time Watcher's this wise and all-knowing figure who teaches them about this world and its wonders, but he's ultimately naive to keep this information from them and mislead them and think that it won't ultimately backfire on him. Tarayev ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's brave and strong and a hardened warrior. Zack's the one with the greatest amount of potential, which he ultimately struggles to live up to, as he freezes and panics in battle. But eventually, he comes good in the end. And Quandro's a bastard who deserves nothing but scorn and indignation thrust upon him. So overall, the characters, they're pretty good. They're a 7. The pacing is probably the best of the films we've seen so far. It was definitely the least boring. So I don't have a ton to say, but the film moves fast enough. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 as well. The editing, also not too special, but not bad either. So I would give that one probably a 5 out of 10. That might be a little harsh, but that's what I'd say. The humour as well, it was generally better than all the other films we saw. I mean, obviously, not every joke is going to land, of course, but in general, they were good. I mean, Carboni's the highlight, as always. So, the humour, I give it a 7 out of 10. And finally, the cinematography, it's just oozing and bubbling and dripping with creativity and thought and imagination. There were some really great settings, I would say. The Lake of Blood, the Bird Village, they were highlights for sure. So I give it an 8 out of 10. So overall, I give this film a score of 43, which yes is the highest score I've given to a film so far. And with that, thank you very much for watching. See you next video. Feast!
Now enjoy yourself. Feast.